Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm trying to reach for it. I actually got my hands on the ColourPop pastel collection that I wanted that sold out before I could get it. So yeah, I think I'm going to do like I did my BH video and do a look with each palette throughout the next day or two. And yeah, without further ado, let's get started on this video, shall we? Alright, so we're starting this first look out with the Miss Bliss palette, and taking a big fluffy brush, I'm going to dip into Intuitive. I have lost my brush sheet, so I do know that's a BH fluffy brush, just a big fluffy brush, and this is serving as our transition shade. Now, taking a bit of a smaller fluffy brush into Optimus, I'm going to go right on top of that first shade we used, just to start deepening things up and brightening up this look. I absolutely love orange sherbet pastel type shades. And then with a smaller, denser blending brush, I picked up some of the shade called Loves It, and I focused this mostly on the outer portion, the outer V type area. Again, just trying to get some more of that dimension. Taking my NYX glitter primer, as I always do, and a flat brush, I put it on that open space of my lid. Then with that's definitely my Dominique Cosmetics brush, I went into Palo Santo and started putting that on the first half or so of that area we put the NYX glitter primer on. Then I flipped that brush over and went into some Vibrant thing. I didn't really like the way this was going down, but we were there, so back and forth till I got it the way I liked it. Then I took my finger into Chakra to Me and just popped that on top of that Vibrant shade because I didn't like the way it was looking. But this other shade was absolutely beautiful. Then I took the second brush that we used to make sure everything was blended and seamless as I could get it. And then I took my KVD tattoo liner, one of my favorites, and just did a little liner wing situation. I suck at wings so bad, and if memory serves me correctly, I got really irritated with one of these looks. It might have been, yep, it was this one. I was having such a bad wing day. But through a makeup miracle, we'll get the rest of the face done. And with my Sigma angled eyeliner brush, I dipped into that Optimist shade and just put that all along the whole lower lash line. Then with a pencil brush, I dipped into Intuitive just to buff everything out. I really liked the look when I got done, but I was so mad at my wings. Taking my Anastasia glitter glue, I just put a little bit across that mobile lid because I really didn't want the chunky glitter law of attraction to get all over my face and in my eyes, but I love the pop that it gave this look. Taking another pencil brush, I picked up the shade Chakra to Me and popped that in my inner corner because I thought it was pretty. I really like the metallic-y glow it gave. And then using from the collection of eyeliners, Peach Fuzz, and I popped that in my waterline. I love ColourPop liners. They're just the bomb. And taking Toxic, this is my daughter's friend's brand. I'll link it down in the description box. And my Lily Lash Mascara. I popped those on and bam, long and beautiful. I love these lashes. Taking my Nakia Joy highlighting palette, I took the orange glow shade to highlight my brow bone, and this is also what I highlighted my face with. Using that Ciate London setting spray, I just sprayed everything down and patted it in as per usual. Then I took my Ciate London Oh Honey liquid lip and popped that on. I think I ended up throughout the day switching this to an Ofra lipstick that I have, but anyway, this is the final look. What do you guys think? I really like that look. So that's number 1 all complete. Let's get on to number 2. For look number 2, I tried out that white e.l.f. Eye primer again. But anyway, we're using the In a Trance palette, and I do want to mention that I do not like this e.l.f. primer, but I'm starting out with a fluffy brush into Own Your Power, and I'm putting that all in the outer V and outer portion of this eye look. I absolutely love this look too when I was done with it. I don't even know if I can decide which one was my favorite, but you could see this shade went on quite nicely. Did have to build the next shade up a little, but once I got it built up, I liked it. So we'll move on to that. After I take a fluffier brush and just kind of buff out the edges of this Own Your Power shade. Then I picked up a little up level and tried to semi deepen that up. It didn't really work out. I think I liked it better just with the first shade, but anyway. Then I picked up some Future Self, and this was the shade I was talking about. I had to go in several times to build it up to the opacity I wanted, but once I got it built up, I absolutely loved it. I mean, I thought it came out beautiful. Then just going back with the fluffier brush we used to buff out that On Your Own powder. And then with a flat shader brush, I put some Transcended Dance all over my mobile lid. Buffing it out with that brush we used in Future Self. Then I took my NYX glitter primer and just a tiny little dot I patted all over that Transcend Dance shade. And then I picked up some Clarity. This shade is absolutely so beautiful. I mean, the reflect of blue in this, you could wear this as a highlight, I bet. It's just so stunning, especially if you put it on top of another blue. It even pops more of that blue shift. And then with my finger, I did not use my glitter primer, but which I regretted because I did end up with glitter on my face, but not too bad. Into that All Aurora again glitter, and oh my god, that was beautiful. Then I picked up some of the shade called Mind's Eye and just kind of put that on the outer portion on top of that up level shade that was kind of a fail for me, just to try to make it look a little better, which it did. I liked it much better like this, so I can't complain. Definitely a beautiful shimmer though. Then I took from the Anastasia Beverly Hills cake liners. This was actually the first time I used them. I mixed the purple and white to try to get kind of a pastel purple. I actually got the whole idea for this look was inspired by a look that Betty Jean did, or Butte Bean here on YouTube. I'll try to remember to link her below, but she's so cute. I love her. And anyway, I used this for my liner. And yes, I thought it was beautiful. I just used my Dominique Cosmetics angled brush because it's quite tiny. And that's the way they came out. I didn't think they looked too bad. They weren't great, but they didn't look too bad. Take off those eye tapes and you can see they're okay. And getting the rest of the face done, we'll move along to the lower lash line. Yes. I do believe I was wearing my Miami lashes in this, but I'm not 100. So I'm just taking that same Future Self shade and wrapping it around the lower lash line to match up with the top. Like I said, a very, very beautiful shade, but you do got to build it up. So I just brushed off that BH pencil brush and picked up some Own Your Power and buff that on the second half of the lower lash line. And yes, this look came out so beautiful. I absolutely love this one too. Like I said, I'm not sure I can really decide my favorite. Then taking from the Brain Freeze palette, that blue, dark blue shade and popping that in my inner corner and wrapping it around just a little bit on the lower lash line and highlighting the brow bone. I love that palette too. Yes, my lashes were Miami. And taking my brow gel, as I always do at the end of every video, and popping that on to get rid of any powder residue. Okay, so then I popped in my waterline from the ColourPop collection, Big Splash. I really, really like these pastel colors. Yeah. Lily Lash Mascara on the lower lashes, just like I did on the top. And bam! This is the way look number 2 came out. I'm not sure what happened with that little editing job, but anyway, my lips were the Sigma Behold shade, and that's look number 2 all done. Let's move on to look number 3. For this look, I went back to the Anastasia primer because the e.l.f. one crumbled so bad. So we're going to use the Aurora palette and start out with Young Love and a dense fluffy brush. This was one of the ColourPop brushes I have, just to lighten everything up so that maybe the pastels would look as good as they did when I first got done with the last look. But like I said, that e.l.f. primer crumbled so bad. Taking a pretty dense fluffy brush, this is one of my BH ones, I picked up some Fresh Cut and started buffing that into the first portion of my crease. This shade didn't take much building up at all. It was quite opaque right off rip. So beautiful. I'm really enjoying these palettes. Let me know if you guys got any, because I'd love to know what you think of them. Taking one of my Laura Lee brushes now and picking up some of that Blue Vibes shade. It does have a little shimmer in it, but most of it buffs away. So not too awful bad, but this, like that one blue shade from the last palette, you have to build up a little bit to get it to the opacity you kind of wanted at, which was fine with me because, I mean, it did build up, and that's what counts. Going back with that first brush and just kind of meshing those colors together so they look as seamless as possible. Using my NYX glitter primer and one of my ColourPop flat brushes, I put that all over the mobile lid. I love the way this makes my shimmers pop. That's why I use it every time, if you're wondering. Then I started out with some Healing Heart from the Aurora and Out palette, and I just put that on the front portion of this eye look. I love this shade too. It's not as opaque as I was hoping it would be, but that was okay with me because it was still really beautiful when I got done. Then I picked up some New Age and put that on the second half of my mobile lid, going back and forth between the shades to get them as seamless as I could. And yes, so beautiful. Then I took my finger into the Super Shock Shadow Soul Sister and kind of popped that in the bottom middle between those two shades. I thought this was absolutely beautiful as well. Using my KVD tattoo liner again, we're going to get our wing on just like usual. And just like usual, I struggle with my wings. I don't know why. But all in all, not too awful bad this day, thank goodness. Just going back and making sure we're buffed out really well. And Makeup Miracle will get our face done. And bam. My lashes were the Roller Lash Mascara and the Lily Lashes in the style LA. And yeah, let's do this lower lash line. Taking an angled brush into that Vibes shade, I worked that onto the outer half of that lower lash line. Oh yeah, then I realized that shade was not picking up good, so I got me a nice flat type brush. It's the same brush I used to put it on the upper lash line, so one of those Laura Lee brushes. I really like those Laura Lee brushes. Then taking my e.l.f. small shader brush, I dipped into some of that Solar Hour. I'm sorry, not Solar Hour. Fresh Cut. And just matched that with the top and buffed away any little bit of fallout I had. Then taking that Super Shock Soul Sister shade, because I really liked it when I patted it on the middle, I popped that on the inner corner. I still have trouble getting these Super Shocks to pick up like I really want them to, but I get them there, so that's all that really counts, right? And then I took what was left on the brush and just buffed it along my brow bone. And yeah. Then I decided to do a double shot with this. I took from the collection extra frosting on the inner portion of this eye look. And then on the second half of the eye look, I took Icebreaker from the collection. And I really liked this kind of ombre waterline. I don't do it a whole lot, but when I do, I really, really like the way it comes out. Hitting up my lower lashes with that Roller Lash Mascara. Love this mascara. I think the wand is what has sold me on it, to be honest. Look at how good it separates your lashes, man. Anyway, this is look number 3, all complete. Which look was your favorite? I'd love to know down in the description box. I loved them all. Anyway, I love you guys, and we'll get into some final thoughts, okay? Alright, so that wraps up another 3 looks, 3 palettes with the ColourPop Cloud Out little trio and eyeliners. I think this might be my favorite look out of the 3. Let me know down in the comments which one was your favorite. And yeah, I mean they wear really nice throughout the day. The chunky glitters I kind of wish weren't in there, and like they each have a Super Shock formula in them, which is, you gotta use a dense brush when you want to apply them, but they're all right. I like the Super Shock highlighters the best, but anyway, yeah, each look was different. This palette that I used today, actually, the Aurora and Out, this blue shade I really had to build on. So if you're not happy having to build on your shadows, then you're probably not going to like that shade very much. This shade in this palette though, I really, really like. It's really unique, and it's that Super Shock formula. It almost looks white until you start using it, and it has such a pretty shift of blue in it. But yeah, the eyeliners, moving on to the eyeliners, I think the eyeliners work really great, just like all ColourPop eyeliners. They're awesome for, especially even not for the price, even if they, you know, weren't really affordable. They're just great eyeliners, so I always recommend the ColourPop eyeliners. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap this video up, being this collection has been out for a while and I'm just now getting to film with it. But yeah, let me know, like I said, if you have any of these, what you think of them, and yeah. If you made it this far into my video, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys, and I hope you'll consider giving it a thumbs up. And if you're new here, subscribing to my channel, share it with your friends. Maybe they'll like it. And I hope you're having a wonderful night or day, whatever day you decided, or whatever time you decided to watch this. And we will see you on the next Teresa Tries Tutorials. Bye, guys.